Hi, and welcome to another episode of Fitness and Friends. I am your humble host, Dr. Bob Ruano. Today's a bit of a mashup show. We have, the usual suspects here today. My good friend George Seaman, Kelly Watson, and my lovely wife, Farra, Eat the Banana Ruano. As I said, kind of a mashup section. So I thought
TMI.
Yeah, how's it?
TMI.
Welcome back to the show, guys.
Thank
George,
you.
this is number 6.
Have you got? I'm number 4. I'm getting that jacket on my next one. Have you not gotten your jacket? Oh, come on.
Oh, forget about
She
the
wants
jacket.
the SNL
Yeah, I'm
jacket.
coming. The SNL five timer.
That's right. So, how was everyone's Thanksgiving?
It's good. I worked.
Yeah.
It was awful.
You worked?
Yeah, I worked.
Well, let's say someone's
Yay,
got
retail.
someone's got to work.
Yeah.
Kelly,
It was quiet.
you
It was
have a
good.
big family. You have a huge
Not
family.
really.
No.
No,
Okay.
it was very quiet. It was a quiet one. It was good. It was a lot of good food, but it was a more quiet year.
Okay. All right. And then I know for us, we had some of the boys, not all of them, some of the boys. We had the moms, which was nice. They're getting up there in age, ladies. Glad you joined us.
I'm sure that warmed their heart to hear that.
They love it. So yeah, it got me thinking. So each year it seems we might be losing some tradition with Thanksgiving. Anymore, it feels like Thanksgiving has become like the halftime show for Christmas, which starts the day after
Or
Halloween.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, before, and then up until Christmas. So yeah, the retailers have really taken it over and kind of squeezed out Thanksgiving. It's kind of sad.
And I think I was thinking about it when you said that. It's like Halloween has decorations and kind of more, same with Christmas, there's more events
Things to
and parties
buy.
and things
And
to
candy.
do. And like Thanksgiving, you're just kind of eating, but you don't really do a lot of decorating necessarily, or it's not like you're going to Thanksgiving parties or, you know what I mean? So I think it's kind of more like, let's have a good meal, but the focus is definitely Halloween and Christmas.
Well, that's it. Well, it's the focus of our culture right now
Yes.
too. It's like stuff. Things.
People don't have time for what Thanksgiving's about.
Well, exactly right. Like think back when you were kids, because we're all. Well, George is still clinging on to the 30s for another how long?
Sunday.
Oh,
Till Sunday,
Oh, wow.
and then he'll become like
I'll be
an
40 on
adult.
Sunday.
I think that's when you start
high five.
adulting at 40.
yeah. No, it
Agreed?
is. You start.
Yeah. So thinking back, like from Thanksgiving from your childhood, any like good memorable Thanksgivings that you can recall? Like I know for me, I grew up. This was a really cool way to grow up. I had like 3 sets of cousins, and so each family had like 3 or 4 kids, and so there was tons of family. And so we'd be over at one of our houses. This is up in Pittsburgh, so it was always cool out. The dads would be just drunk, drinking beer all day,
Lazy
watching
asses.
football. the moms were working in the kitchen, kind of thing. But it was a tough time for me because what is Thanksgiving about? You mentioned it.
Eating.
It's about eating. What in particular?
Turkey.
I'm allergic to turkey, so I was
are you
ridiculed.
You're allergic to turkey?
Yes,
Chicken,
yes.
poultry.
Let it be known.
Anything.
Turkey, chicken.
How have I
yeah.
never known
It's
this?
so hard.
It's very
to
difficult.
cook.
Yeah. What?
I've never
I've
met
never
anyone in my
heard
life
this.
that's allergic to poultry.
Yeah. And I'm not just talking like, now everyone's allergic to something. I'm gluten intolerant. I'm lactose. But this is a real allergy. Like I eat it and
You throw up?
Not anaphylactic, but a lot of gastrointestinal distress. I'll break out in
ruins his
hives.
day.
Is this since you were like a child? Or
Yes.
So
I've
weird.
never heard of this.
Yeah, and so you can imagine it was embarrassment for me. Everyone is doling out turkey and gravy and all that, and I get like a ham is usually what it was. When I was younger, it was probably hot dogs. So my cousins would be like, "What the hell is this kid? What's wrong with you?"
I'm stuck on this. I'm going to have to fast forward.
Yeah,
It's blowing my mind.
It was horrible. So anyway,
right?
Thanksgiving was
Another day for you.
Wow, this is like a
the
bombshell.
best of times
He
and
just
the
dropped
worst
a
of times.
bombshell.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this for an
Yeah,
hour.
let's talk about this.
Well, I mean, let's talk about how hard it is to cook for them.
can't
I
eat
mean,
chicken nuggets,
I
you
can't,
can't
and I
like-
can't. There's
Yeah.
no broth. There's no nothing.
Yes.
And so we always do we
You've
did a
never
boss.
experienced Chick-fil-A.
No,
No,
but I've been
he
turned on
wants
to.
to.
I had my first chicken tender recently, thanks to Incognito, our new sponsor. Incognito.
That's not a chicken.
That's not chicken. It tastes like chicken.
tastes like
surprisingly.
No,
chicken.
listen. So
Some of them might be good. I was a
little-
vegetarian for a long time, so I can't eat fake meat anymore.
I
Because in
went-
the day, it was. I'm sure it's
That's
better
all you
now.
Now
do,
it's
yeah.
better.
I went
It was
vegan
so
for
bad
a
then.
year.
Yes, you did.
Just to prove that it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
And I ate all that Gardein and all that stuff. It's not awful.
You know, it's not. No.
If you want it, if you go into it saying it's gonna taste like chicken, you're wrong.
Right.
But if you cook it right,
If you never tasted chicken, though.
But if you never tasted chicken,
but like some of
That's
it's good.
crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
Some of it
for sure.
similar-ish.
We, Farra will make the sausage. What's the sausage that you get?
Beyond.
Beyond Meat
Yeah.
sausage.
See,
Delicious.
when I was a vegetarian, it was like 20 years ago. When
That's
I
what
was
didn't
like very
exist.
young, and it was literally you couldn't
was-
eat. I mean,
you
you
couldn't.
couldn't eat anything.
And
You
it
go to a
wasn't
restaurant, you're
good.
like, could I get a side salad and some bread? And you're just like, that's it.
That's awful.
And the fake meat was new then,
Yeah,
and like
Right.
it's
it
not
was
yeah.
so
good.
horrible. Like
It's
it was
the
so
only way that I
horrible.
made it for a year.
Yeah.
I reached my
I ate all
lifetime
that stuff.
tolerance,
Yeah.
so I'm sure it's much improved now. But I already reached my limit.
It is,
Yeah,
but they
so-
do put a lot of extra stuff in there.
You
I
have-
noticed, So
I,
But
I grew
mean,
up on hot dogs.
you're,
I'm immune.
your
That's true. Yeah.
your almost 9-year-old had a fit this time.
Because
He was
did.
throwing a tantrum at the table, and he said, "I'm disappointed. There's no turkey. It's not Thanksgiving without
Yeah.
turkey." And
Ow.
I'm like,
Wow.
Your dad is allergic
You're like,
to
sorry, I'm allergic. I
Yeah, it's a programming issue. I missed that. So anyway, that's my experience with Thanksgiving. How about y'all?
I think it. I really. As you were sitting there saying that, I think it was so much better when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just because when you're the
You don't have to do
child,
anything.
and there's like generations, like your aunts, your moms, your grandmothers are cooking, and it's like that feeling of. I had two because I'm from here, and so all my family was here. So we would have like a Thanksgiving lunch, and then like a Thanksgiving dinner at my other grandparents, and it was
Right.
like a lot. We had to stop it because the adults, like the kids, were good. I mean,
Yeah.
but the adults were like, I
Couldn't
can't really
manage it.
eat 2 meals. We were like, great,
Bring it on.
But as you get older, but it was really nice. Like it was a much more. Like when I think about Thanksgiving when I was young, it felt much more like a big holiday, and it was
Communal,
like
yeah.
a big thing, and lots of family around, and everyone's bringing dishes, and we're going to like my dad's parents and then my mom's parents, and seeing all sides of the family, and it was actually really nice. And now that there are less generations above us, and you're kind of more in charge or responsible for bringing stuff or cooking or preparing, or it's just a different dynamic, and there's
So
fewer
is that our
family
fault
members.
that we're not like continuing these traditions?
I do. I think there's my sister and I were kind of talking, recently, like, gosh, I guess we're going to be in charge of
Yeah.
this one day. And
Right.
like, what are we, then we're getting honey baked ham, or I don't know what we're doing. Like,
Well, I'll tell you what.
Well, maybe it wasn't. I think back in the day, it was a thing where the girls would watch their moms and learn how to
Yeah.
cook. But now it's just like, I
didn't
feel like
take-
I was just like, here, you're on your own, learn how to cook. I'm just going to figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And
Well,
over
just
the years I
culturally,
have, but I'm like,
we're
lazy,
not preparing
though.
meals like our parents did in
Yeah.
previous generations, where you're making a 5-course meal and pot roast. And I'm sure there are lots of people who are, but I feel like the general norm, fast-paced times with kids,
Yes.
you just don't have 2 hours to prepare
No.
a spread every night for dinner.
Yeah.
And that was more the norm back then. And like now, my girl, I try to always have us eat together, but there's takeout involved, or I'm making like a quick meal, even if it's homemade. It's not like a 2-hour process. And back then, there was more time put into it, more love put into the making of the meal.
I totally agree. And actually, we're going to change gears a little bit, because what you're talking about is, think back then, what we're talking 30 years ago, give or take. Right. You think with all this technology, we should be freeing up more time, because that's what technology does. It compresses time, gives you more of it. But it feels like we have less of it now,
everything's
right?
so much busier.
And where's this going, George? You know exactly where this is going. The metaverse. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Okay. I've been trying to wrap my brain around this, and I've got an idea. That's all. We've dabbled in it. We've probably all had Zoom meetings. Okay, that's a bit of a metaverse kind of situation. I think what the difference is, and now Meta, the Facebook Meta, is really just the company name for Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. But so they want to be the front runner in it. But the thing is, they don't have the hardware. Who's got the hardware? Microsoft's got the hardware via the Oculus goggles. That's the virtual reality goggles. And so the idea is, instead of everyone traveling, because remember that was the big thing. You'd travel to go home for Thanksgiving, right? You wouldn't have to do that anymore. So you have a table, everyone sits down, and you can see your avatar people.
You're like VR dinner.
Exactly.
That's lame.
That's pathetic.
That is lame.
That's pathetic, but that's
That
what's
is
coming.
lame. That's lame.
That's what's coming.
Like I get COVID Zoom Thanksgiving when it's
Yeah.
like a year or two
Sure.
ago,
Right.
but like that just being the norm, where you're like, click, Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Like
You
that
say
just
COVID?
seems-
That is so 2020. We're on to, what's it called?
What's the
Omicron.
Omicron?
Omicron. We're on to
Oh, my bad.
Omicron.
I'm so not with it. Yeah.
We're getting
Delta,
banned for this.
Omicron.
We're getting
all the-
Facebook banned for this.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kappa Delta, whatever. Yeah, no, I
Yeah, all the
I-
sorority, the Greek letters. That's what
it's
those are
hard. I
called,
mean, we
right?
did that, and I think that was really nice to have that technology during
Sure.
the time. Like, I feel like that element kind of saved a lot of us. I know I was doing a ton of Zoom yoga classes, and that whole element of connecting online for the period when we were kind of homebound for a long time
Yeah.
was really helpful. But the thought of that being kind of the trend
The
or the
norm.
norm is a little scary. I mean, I think that lack of, just already with the everybody's here and you're like, oh yeah, hi, just the kind of disconnect and the, like, it scares me. Like we were talking, what is it called? Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
And Wall-E, the
Great
cartoon. It is a good movie, but
Oh,
it's
Wall-E,
scary. It's,
yeah.
I mean, it's that, and you can kind of see that, like,
Yeah. Very
coming. Trajectory, yeah.
Orwellian. Would you call that Orwellian?
Yeah. It's that. Yeah, it's a little obscure, but yeah.
Yeah. It is obscure, right? That kind of dates me, doesn't it? I went back.
We all knew what it was, so
I
you're
never,
good.
yeah, I've never read the book. I've always heard it being referred to, and I went back recently and read that, and 1984, I think, and it's crazy how this was written in the 50s. I
Yes.
think how much like foretelling it did.
Well, it's like the thing where the Simpsons. They say the
That's
Simpsons have
crazy.
predicted the future.
it's insane.
Oh yeah, including Trump, right?
Like all the way back to so the Simpsons
knew about
started.
this?
No.
It's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
The Simpsons started in like the late
is real.
80s. It was actually a segment show on the Tracy Ullman show on Lifetime.
Yeah.
People don't remember
Right,
that.
I
Before
remember
everyone
that.
went to Fox,
Right.
Yes.
it was drawn very crudely. It was not pretty to watch. But they always have these like crazy like I don't even know how to explain it, but like they'll like predict the future on the show 20 years ago, and then it ends up happening.
Down to like, wasn't it like what Michelle Obama was wearing? I mean, it's something
Such
so
random-
nuts.
I'm sure there's a website out there of everything
It
the
does.
Simpsons have like predicted.
And it's
but
not vague. It's like detailed. Like there's no arguing. It's not like, well, it could be construed. It's like crazy.
Right,
It's
right.
crazy, and it's not two things. It's like a zillion. It's very like
Yeah.
I don't get it. Explain that to me, George. How did they do that?
I think if you throw enough stuff at the wall, eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But like they even
This is
predicted
crazy,
that like
though.
Disney would buy everything. Like they predicted that. They predicted Trump would be president.
Well, the crazy thing is they did that as like a spoof. Like it was so outlandish that it was going to be
Right.
funny.
So this movie,
and now it's a reality.
This
Yeah.
movie that she's talking about, the whole thing is a spoof. But it's
Yeah.
like, if you watch it, like it's probably 15 years old at this point.
Yeah, it's-
If you go back and watch it now,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh shit.
It's
Yeah.
scary. Back then it was hilarious. Now it's like funny but scary because
Yeah.
you're like it's a little too close. You're hitting a nerve.
Well, that's the movie Wall-E. I don't know if you've seen Wall-E, but it's basically
So
this futurist.
depressing.
It's depressing.
Oh, it is.
You know, they're on their phones. They're buying
And they're in
things for their
those- and they're in
avatar.
that
Those
car.
machine- yeah,
and
and like
they
those
just
little-
have it like this. That
It's not
they're
far
like
off.
this.
I mean, it's not.
It's
It's
not.
not off
I mean,
base.
I'm not gonna lie though. I do take advantage of some of it. Like I get my groceries delivered instead of going
Yeah,
to the store
for
now
sure.
and stuff like that.
my favorite.
So I mean,
Instacart.
oh, yeah,
Well, that's it. Again, it's moderation.
yeah.
But also, you're not like. That's not necessarily. You're not going to the grocery store for human interaction. So you're not
True.
necessarily. I mean, necessarily. Well, maybe you are.
That's
I
the
mean,
one way. That's the reason you stay out of the grocery
Exactly.
store.
I think that's why my grandmother went to the store. She'd
For
get
sure.
one thing.
Yeah.
but
Just
to
she
chat.
wanted to
That's my grandma
get
too.
out.
I'm not
That
quite
was
to
how
that
she
point.
got out.
We do yearn for the day when we go to the grocery store once a day to get food for that night.
Oh, I'd
Yes.
love to do that.
Yeah,
one
and
day.
that'd be something. We're gonna stop at the market. Can you stop by
That's
the
hard
market?
to do when you have kids.
I'm really
Yeah.
bad at that. My girlfriend hates me for.
You're at the
because,
market
like,
every day,
Yeah,
George.
how you're
Almost at
always
I would
there.
just pick something up every day.
Almost
Yeah,
at Publix
I would bring
every
something
day.
home
At
every
Publix?
day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
You
buy.
work for Whole
Yeah,
Foods.
well,
Then
Whole
you
Foods.
don't waste food. Well, Whole Foods is expensive.
Whole Foods
so-
is so expensive.
Yeah.
and I
You
get
don't
You
get
don't
a
waste
discount?
food if
I
you
get
just buy for the day.
30% off.
That's
Wow, that's
awesome.
huge.
How much?
30% off.
30%.
Oh, then you're like
30%
at
is still-
Publix prices.
That's a
I'm
lot.
at Publix, right? It's the same thing.
Wow.
But like the variety's weird at Whole Foods.
No, it
It
is.
is.
You can't get everything.
Right.
You can't get everything.
You can't get it. Like
You
if
can't
I want
get
to buy,
paper
No,
goods.
no, no.
Like,
You
I
can't
can't
get,
buy
like-
a bottle of ketchup. It has to be like organic,
Right, right, right.
no
I just
sugar
want some
added,
normal something.
imported from
Yeah.
Guatemala.
No,
Like,
it's true.
It's,
It's
not
true.
just ketchup.
It's true.
It's not. Like I
And
actually
you can't get like toiletries. I mean, it
No,
has to be
that's
can,
the
but they're
annoying
like
part.
crazy.
on
It's not the
recycled
norm-
paper.
right.
Yeah, and they're
or
like
the
70
white
cardboard.
acid, like
Cardboard.
The
yeah.
John
Yeah.
Wayne of toilet paper is
Yeah.
at Whole Foods.
Yes.
Yeah, I
You know,
see that.
rough and tough, and don't take shit
Yeah.
from no one.
Yeah, like the only time we ever sell it was at the beginning of Corona. That's like literally the only time.
Because
we
that's the
ever
only place
sell
that
it.
had
Yeah.
it. They're like,
Oh, I
it's-
didn't think about
It's
that.
either that or getting like the 12 grade sandpaper at Home Depot.
Yeah, you're like, here's some
Or,
notebook
like,
paper. Good
I
luck.
remember I sent you that text during that time. Or you could go to CVS and buy a pack of gum. And you get a
And
receipt.
get a receipt
Get a
this
receipt
long.
this long,
We
and then
just
you can
got one the
wipe
other
your
day.
ass.
We bought 2 small things and got a receipt.
Yeah.
This
you
long.
just save it. Just throw it in a bag. For the
Everybody
next
looked at it. Why is it
Corona.
so long?
Somebody's got to
There's
come down on that.
coupons. There's
For the
100
next
coupons.
Corona.
I had
Save
that
up.
figured out, by the way. I know why they do that.
Why?
Because whoever the paper salesman, he must have a relationship with CVS. And he's like,
The
"Come on, you
one
need
paper
these."
salesman has a relationship
he's
with
a go-getter.
CVS.
He's a go-getter, and he's
He's a
like, "I
go-getter.
want this account."
If
But
there's one paper salesman for all of CVS, I'm pretty sure he's retired at this
He is
point.
killing
I think
it.
he's good.
He's doing very well.
he is
He's doing
slaying
very
it.
well.
He planned that out well.
Yeah, well done.
So anyway, this is kind of I wouldn't say not for us. We're pretty consistent on training only because we enjoy it. But this is a tough time of year, and this might be triggering to Farra down here. But this it can be a tough time of year for people in their workout regimen, and how if they're eating some sort of special way or something. Like George, you just came off a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, so I was sick. Pretty sure I had bronchitis. I never went.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
I got the bronchitis. And of course I didn't go to the doctor. I was like, whatever, I'll just take Sudafed, it'll be fine. But it lingered for like 3 weeks. So I probably went to the gym like once a week for 2 weeks. And then November is just murder for retail because they were at Whole Foods. So like
Right.
the last 2 weeks of November, I worked like 65 hours a week.
Wow.
So I didn't go to the gym. And my first day back was Tuesday.
Yeah.
and it was awful.
Yeah.
I saw you in
I
a
saw
photo.
that.
Yeah,
I looked-
I
I looked
saw your
terrible.
post.
Did you
didn't
zoom
see
in
the
how
picture.
terrible I look?
I
No.
just saw your post.
You mean like just half dead?
No, I'm getting old.
I didn't see-
I'm
oh.
getting old.
40
I'm starting to
on
see it.
some.
You're the youngest one here,
Yeah.
so let's settle down.
Yeah, you're in diapers,
I
buddy.
got
Yeah.
a lot of miles on this. Body, man.
Well, that's
second
hard though,
youngest, Kelly.
because it is
Oh,
something
what?
like a sickness
No.
or
Yeah.
I've still got
a
several on
family
now.
event, and that spot of time that you have dedicated to whatever exercise you're doing gets eaten up.
But the sickness really is what killed it because I've been diligent. Like I don't care how much I work. I always try to make time for the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had this talk before. Like I've worked 2 jobs and worked 80 hours a week, but I still go to the gym.
Sure.
And my girlfriend will get mad at me like, "You don't have time to do this. But you have time to go to the gym." And I'm like, "You don't realize it's what."
She's gonna
keeps
love
me-
that impression, by the way. This is
spot on.
not that
It's
Holly.
spot on.
That is not you at all.
That
Just
is
wanted to say
100% her. But it keeps me balanced. It's what keeps me sane sometimes. It's like the 1 hour a day that I can just check out no matter what is happening in the world.
that. Yeah.
Same.
How about you?
I mean, I've just gotten in general to a place where I don't ever even refer to it as training, which is funny because I used to say that all the time, and now I don't
like
because
that,
I'm not
yeah.
training for anything. I mean,
right.
we used to always say training for life, but I really just am more of moving. In my mind, I just think I look at it more if it's something that is going to make me feel like a stress reliever and I need to like go in the gym or just go away or go on a walk or do whatever away from my daughters or from whatever's going on and just have a few moments and it is a stress reliever, then I choose based on that and like whatever appeals to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm needing a walk right now or I'm needing yoga or I'm going to do some like Apex or whatever it is, a Peloton, whatever I do. But I kind of just do whatever appeals to me, if anything, and like if it feels like something that's going to help and like de-stress me. But if it starts to feel like one more task and I don't have time today and it's stressing me out, then I don't do it. So I really use it more in terms of like, now don't get me wrong. I mean, there's like an aesthetic and a strength, that I will like to maintain and
Right.
like a certain level of fitness. But overall, it's kind of more just maintenance now than like when I was starting Primal back in the day and I was trying to like be strong and add strength and add muscle, and I've kind of just let that go. Now I do whatever feels good and whatever like my body's calling for or will help me to feel less anxious or less stressed or better or whatever it is. And if it's
very
going to be
evolved. Very
negative, then
evolved.
I'm like, I'm not doing
that?
it today.
It's funny, like I equate this to how I eat. Like I don't follow anything specific. I eat because I know I have to.
Yeah.
And it's like maintenance.
That's
Right.
me.
So it's the same thing with working out. It's because like I'm not you, right? I'm not a professional athlete, and I'm not aspiring to anything.
That's why he's invited on the show.
Yeah, 6 times. No, but it's serious. Like you do it because like you have to,
Yeah.
right? And like it's the same thing. You can equate that to a lot in your life that you do because you know it's part of your life, and you won't feel the same if you do it or don't do it. So, yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
What about me?
I mean, I know the answer.
What I do?
Yeah,
Or
well,
how do I balance it?
how do you stay consistent?
I like what I'm doing.
You just enjoy it. Yeah.
That's the key. If you don't like what you're doing, then when the holidays or busy times come around, then you'll stop because you didn't like it anyway.
Right. Gives you an excuse,
So,
an easier
yeah.
way to dip.
So I enjoy
No,
it.
I definitely see that with like what you're doing in the lifting, all the strength stuff. You really do like it so much
I like it
better.
so much.
And that's the same with me and like yoga and whatever I'm doing. That once you like something and it's not like kind of, it used to be more of a obligation. It was like obligatory. Oh, I got to do my workout today. Once it's over, you're like, yes. And I try, like now I try to do things that feel less of an obligation and a chore and more of like pleasant. Like, oh, I can't wait to do a yoga practice and like shake this off or just get into that space where I know how I'm going to feel, or whatever's like, okay, I need to do a Peloton, or I need to just be outside and like, you know, connect with nature or walk or whatever. But it's something that I want to do that's going to like be positive, instead of it used to kind of be when I was younger, more of an obligation or something like, oh, I got to do my workout. And it was not like necessarily enjoyable. And when you do find something that you like and enjoy more, then you look forward to it and you want to do it instead of having to do it or feeling
Do you
compelled.
think, we were talking about the metaverse prior, do you think we're like, I don't know how to phrase this. So our parents, they didn't have all this information. Exercise wasn't a thing. That was,
Definitely not.
Right. And
as
so
evidenced by my 2 lovely clients on Tuesday.
Love you, Mom.
The Golden
The
Girls.
Golden Girls. I
But
love them.
that
That's
just
awesome.
wasn't a thing. Maybe the education out there wasn't there. But we certainly see that, and Farra with her lifting, she's becoming very durable for her later years in life. But
She's strong.
I look at like our kids. Are they going to be more sedentary with this metaverse?
Yes.
So
and
it's
less?
funny. It's funny you say this
Yes.
because like I just got done working 120 hours in 2 weeks, and I was fine every day.
Yeah.
Like every day, everyone was like, "How are you doing?
A
this?
20-year-old
How-
would be dying.
Because you're
How are you
used to-
working 15 hours a day?
Because
and
you're
I'm
used
just-
to being
How are you
moving.
working 9 days in a row? How are you like? Don't get me wrong, it was like hard, but I wasn't like like on
you did it.
hour 15. Like, and I sound like such an old man, but I work with like 20-year-olds at Whole Foods,
Hi.
and I'm like
Right.
I'm
So
running circles around them, and they're like dying after like a 4-hour day, and I'm like, I hate all.
You
of
and I
you.
talk about this in fitness.
I hate every one of
Well,
you.
and I don't think I think for me, I think Griffin's old enough.
Of course.
But maybe our younger ones, Aiden's into physical activity. But maybe as they start
Well,
to
I'm not
get
talking
to
about
those
our kids in
younger
general. I'm
generations,
talking about
but I
kids
noticed
in
like
general.
our,
You guys are
our
setting a
youngest
good
3
example,
are
right?
more
Like, yeah.
Right.
sedentary than our older 2.
Here's something I really observed that kind of was eye-opening when we went. I just got back from North Carolina. I went on a trip last week or before Thanksgiving. So we took the girls ice skating. I opted out because it was very crowded and I was getting too anxious. There's kids racing and wrecking
Oh,
everywhere, and I was like,
you got
I'm not
broken
in this.
ankle or
I'm
busted
not, I
ass
can roller skate,
written
but
all over
I'm
that.
not doing the blue thing and dodging kids. I was like, I'm not doing it. So I was observing,
I need to
and
see
like
that.
none of the young kids could do it. There were a bunch of young girls, college girls, teenagers. They were all like on the side, like and the women who were in their 30s, 40s, 50s were like, they were out there crushing it, and they were kind of skating around, kind of not laughing
Doing, like,
at, but
Peggy
like
Hamilton
observing.
spins.
Yeah, but they were like, we kind of had this like, oh, it's very interesting that we grew up, our generation, we weren't on our phones playing video games. We were like outside riding bikes, skating, doing things. And so we know how to skate. Like I know how to roller skate and my daughters don't. And so when we go roller skating, I love to show out like, look at this. Because it's one of the few things that I can do that they can't. And everything else, they crush me. But this type of observation where like everyone's ice skating and none of the young kids know how to do it. And like these older women are kind of older adults are like, just because they grew up being more active. And so I just was watching something yesterday on a talk show and a woman was turning 90 and it like blew my mind because she looked so young and amazing. I literally rewound it, videotaped
People are looking
it.
so much younger at
Sent
an
it,
older
and she made
age
a
now,
point to
which
say,
is
I
great.
haven't had work done. She wasn't like, and I sent it to my daughters and said, look at this. This woman is 3 years older than their great grandmother who passed away a couple months ago. And she looks, and I said, this just shows that like, taking care of yourself and moving and continuing to eat well and like drink water, it makes a difference. It really does. So I hope that they kind of see that, but the younger generation will be a big challenge because they are just so plugged in. And
We were just talking about that as far as like taking care of yourself and kind of nurturing and caring for your health and your immune system. We were kind of kidding around about this new variant. And then there'll be a new booster, but it continues. And so it's going to be like
Just running around in circles.
Right.
You're getting the next booster and another one's behind you. It's like, when does it
So
stop?
it must be a really hard, the exercise, the proper kind of nutrition, whatever you want to consider that must be a really hard sell. A lot harder than just got to go get a shot, right?
Yeah.
But it helps so much. I mean, having a stronger immune system, and
Yes.
and it's a fact. I mean, you're less likely to, the stronger your immune system is, or
Right,
So
and even with the booster, I would imagine, I'm not a virologist, but I would imagine that if you have a higher functioning immune system, then the boosters or the vaccine would be more effective. Maybe. Makes sense.
yeah, no, it does. It makes sense. I mean, there's so much evidence for fitness, exercise, moving, taking care of yourself, adding longevity, and it's just the key of finding what you like that you can do long term. That's all it is.
Some of my favorite things that I don't get to do on a regular basis, 15 minutes of sun right here. 15 minutes.
Sun?
So good for you. The sunshine. Yeah. So that requires you to be outside though, right? Again, let's get our youth outside a little more. And then walking around, okay, she's going to laugh at this. Grounding. You know about grounding, right? Yeah.
That's Derek, right? You walk
Yes.
around
Derek is right.
Barefoot?
Barefoot.
Oh,
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's gross to me.
I'm barefoot all the time. I
don't
like
like it.
barefoot. Yogis are barefoot.
I don't
I'm
like
barefoot
going.
queen.
I don't like going to the beach. I don't like getting
Oh,
my feet dirty.
Barefoot in the
Lord.
beach.
I like
Now
the
that's it. That's
ground.
I don't
like,
want to get my
Oh,
feet
yeah. I'm
dirty.
barefoot all the time.
It's gross.
oh gosh, that's the best.
No,
Saltwater air.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate it.
This is
That's
all
my
good.
number one. The thing I've done all my life is like walked outside. That's it's my favorite thing. It's the most meditative. I'll drive to the beach for the day and just walk for 2 hours and come home. Like it's just, and it's not like walking. I'm not like
Power walking,
It's
yes.
just being outside on a gorgeous day and walking around is my number one favorite thing in the
Yeah.
world.
You're picking up energy. So you're an energy person. You get that. You get
Yeah, I need
you
to be
by
outside,
the ocean.
do something.
Lots of good energy.
Yeah,
there,
just
George.
even like when it's like a gorgeous day outside and you walk like and you're just outside on a walk. It's so much of a different feeling than like doing a machine inside or doing
Oh,
some
yeah.
sort of a.
100%.
It's just it's such an added bonus.
Speaking of walking.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez.
How's Olivia?
How's Olivia? Yes.
She's good. So
I saw a picture recently. You have that picture of Olivia? No, Olivia. Olivia.
That's
We'll get to this one here. Look at that.
that's not Olivia.
Yes,
That's not
it is.
Olivia?
That's not. Oh, I'm looking over here.
Oh, yeah, no,
Sorry.
yeah,
I was like-
Yeah.
What do you got her dressed up? Is that like Rudolph or something? Or I see her.
adorable.
Okay, so this is what happens.
She looks like she's in
She looks
trouble.
like she's loving it, to be honest.
No, she looks like she's in shame.
She
embarrassed.
hates going outside in the cold.
Yeah.
So we decided we were going to get her a jacket or a sweater.
Of course.
Yes.
So this is what happens when I tell my girlfriend to get her a jacket or a sweater. It decides to be outfits.
Outfit. Yeah, I saw the bow tie.
Yeah, so
The previous
this is a Christmas outfit instead of a sweater or a jacket to put on. And she hated it because it was too constrictive.
Yeah.
So
I
she
have
just
that same rug in my dining room. Your girlfriend has good taste. Just saying.
Good job, Holly.
she just
Good
laid
job.
there. She
Yeah.
sat there and
The look
She
on
looks
her
like- she doesn't
face
look
is like,
thrilled.
Dad,
She doesn't look
Dad,
pumped about it. She
help
looks
me.
like she's being shamed.
Yeah,
it got returned.
She's looking
She's
at
like,
you
"Don't make me
saying,
go out
help
like
me,
this."
Dad.
This is-
So now she has a big puffy like parka coat that she loves, and
I'm sure it's adorable.
she hates being cold. Hates it.
I got Sailor our Boston the first year we had him. He was a puppy. We got him like a little red sweater, and I've never put an item of clothing on a dog prior or since.
Good for
just
you.
saying. And I posted about it. I remember, and I was embarrassed. And I was like, I guess I'm this person now. Like I put a sweater on a dog. I've crossed the line into I just put a sweater on a dog and took a picture of it, and here it is.
Hey,
It was
George,
adorable.
you'll be very pleased, and I think you'll be curious. Look what we just did for Louie. We switched that picture, Ilya, if we could. Yes. Doggy DNA.
Don't get me
test.
started on the DNA test.
Yes.
Oh, Ava.
I just want to know what he is. I know he's a dachshund,
but you know
we
these are
wanna
fake,
know the
right?
other
You know these
thing.
are fake. I'm just saying.
Oh, tell me. That sounds very.
conspiracy
I-
theory?
yes.
Don't even. This is a major controversy in my own family because my now just turned 16-year-old Ava has been arguing with us for months, maybe even 2 years, about me being German. I am German. My heritage is German. Niederchor, it's German. We're German.
Niederchor, yeah.
My grandfather's
Ah,
told me this
the
my whole
Niederchor.
life. Well, I mean, no, but also my grandfather told us, I mean, we talked about our whole lives. It's a thing. So Ava does a 23andMe or one of these things,
Oh,
and she
yeah.
comes home and says, oh, guess what? We're Belgian. We're not German at all. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
That's very close.
So she's been arguing, and I was like, wait, so let me see. I've never heard the word Belgium from any family member my whole life.
Yeah.
They've always told me German. So was my grandparents parents lying to me? Like, why are they?
Yeah.
So we've been arguing.
Maybe they were embarrassed
No.
that generation to be German because
Ruby
the
did some
stereotype. They say,
research on
Belgium's
it.
like, I'm Swiss. You know, everybody likes the Swiss.
Ruby did research on it, and
Yeah.
it turns out that they're not very accurate, and the percentage of accuracy is pretty low. And it's like, don't base any real thing on this. And there's a disclaimer,
You're
like,
bursting bubbles over here.
yeah, no, it's real talk. I'm just saying. I mean, a dog, I don't think there's as much pressure. I don't think Louis
Yeah.
cares, and he's going to be hurt. I think Louis is good
Oh,
with
I think
wherever
Louis
he's from.
is-
But I was like
darn, he's
really
almost
I think
irate.
73%.
Louis waiting.
We were
he's
like upset.
sitting on the
She
edge
was saying
of
I was
his
He
zero
is.
German,
He
and I
is.
was like,
He
"You're
wants to
taking my
know.
identity away, Ava. You're ruining my life." And my
Louis-
sister and I were. It was
whole
a
life's
heated
been a
thing.
lie.
So now my other daughter, has proven that it was not reliable, and we've all agreed
Well, that's
we're back
the
to
people
German.
test. We don't know about the dog.
Yeah, so the
test.
So
dog
you
may
have
be
to send this
different,
away?
but I get
Yes.
triggered from the DNA
You
test.
paid for this.
Did you swab it, or what
It
did
was,
you?
yeah, you swab it. It
Sadly
was
so.
$30
You
off.
actually
Oh,
paid
well,
for
you know,
Yes.
the human ones are crazy expensive.
No, it was
So what
like,
you had to do
ended
is
up
you-
being like $70.
You take a swab, and then you got to, yeah, exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 swabs. You mail
I
it
don't
in.
know. I
And
mean-
I've seen some of the results from some
So
of my
what are you
friends.
hoping for?
And
It just says the breeds you
it
are.
says
You just
all
wanna
the
know what he's
breeds. It
mixed
says
with.
like possible illnesses from things
Okay,
like
that's
that.
good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Like,
yeah.
they have a propensity for arthritic knees. I don't know. Stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's good to know.
Dachshund,
Sassy
definitely.
legs.
He's got
Yeah,
some
he does
dachshund.
have a sassy leg.
He has
yeah.
dachshund, but they said hound, which is also isn't that a dachshund a hound?
He's got the
dog?
little dachshund legs.
But I
Yeah.
think he's got some pit bull. So we're gonna,
Really? Oh.
yeah.
Probably. I mean, most dogs do. It
Dogs are
seems.
adorable.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, we're going to kind of finish up on a high note here. Isn't that
Well,
great?
don't leave us hanging. Make sure we find out the results of what Louis'
Stay tuned next week.
genetic background is.
We
Our
need to
next
know
thing
what
we find
Olivia
out-
is.
Yes.
Olivia-
She is a
Olivia's
wire-haired terrier
She's sad.
mix.
Oh,
Yeah, but what,
mixed with what?
Mixed with what?
I don't care.
See?
I'm
You
thinking.
wanna
I think
know.
actually I know
Please
what.
don't order
You're
a-
not having kids. This is
She's
your only
mixed with-
child.
She's
Mixed
mixed with adorable.
No,
Yeah.
she's mixed with ape because she
Because
looks like
Dr.
Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius.
Dr. Cornelius. Yeah. You see it right
You know,
there.
I'm just gonna enjoy the fact that she's adorable.
Yeah. She's mixed with adorable.
There
I
it
enjoy
is.
that.
Yeah.
Mixed with adorable. She hates that outfit. It went back.
All right. Well, guys. Hey, we so many. I had like a whole list of things for us to discuss here. We didn't
We're
get
done
any of
already?
it. We don't have to. But one other
You
thing.
derailed us with
What's
the
the
poultry.
other
Well, one other
The
thing, but
poultry just took it.
they were going to get they're going to get glazed over if we go too deep into it. But talking about CompTrain and mayhem and
there's
all
so much
these,
going
there's
on
a
in
lot
the
going
world,
on in the
yeah.
CrossFit world. Again, yeah, here they go. That's
So
why I
where's my
said
phone?
they're going to get a little gloss
So
over. This will be real quick because this
far
will
we
apply
know.
to you.
Yeah, we're like,
This will apply to you.
City?
Yeah,
You
so
know, you still do it.
You know, in the Masters division was, hey, 40 now, buddy. You're in the 40 to 45, 40 to 44s.
Doesn't mean anything.
Did that feel good to you to hear that,
Yeah.
George? Did that?
Yeah, you're the
fills
young
you
man.
I'm down. Like my whole life, my birthday's just another day. I'm never like, it'll get celebrated, right? But it doesn't really mean much to me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. 40,
This one-
40 is hitting.
This one's feel.
It's like,
George,
It's not till
Tears.
41 that you.
Tears.
40
I
is
cried
great.
real
Everybody's
tears.
like, "Oh yay, you're 40," but
Yeah.
then when you're 41, you're like, "Oh, this is."
But you know what,
like,
though?
so it's gonna be
Hang
worse
tight.
next year.
Yeah.
Right.
When's your birthday?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Sunday. When I turned 40, I did cry. I'm not going to lie. I also cried when I turned 30, and I had a whole hang up with my age forever. And this
You
is
did.
the first year I have.
You've come out of that.
I stopped lying about my age. I'm 45, and I have always.
Yes.
Don't get crazy with it. I'm just able to say it out loud without choking. I am not quite clapping. But the point is, I've really, at 40, I cried. And at 45, I was like, I'm just too old to lie about my age anymore. I'm just going to own it. And it has to do with
You were trying to be
self-love,
Blanche Devereaux.
But it's.
Oh,
Yeah, she
it's
lies.
hilarious. That's
She
great.
lies about her age.
I was like, I am in no. And I was like,
Oh, no, no, no,
wow. God, that hurt.
Anyone watches Golden
She
Girls,
lied
that's-
about her
that
age
is
the whole
not-
time. She was
I
like,
am
shocked.
not
she was
That's the
trying
one
to be
thing-
like Blanche
But if
Devereaux.
you think about it,
That's the one comparison.
If there'd be
think
anything
about
more
it.
Yeah,
hideous,
there's no
I'm
more.
like, I felt good about
that's
it until
not
she just
what I
said that.
meant. What I meant was she lied about her age
Yeah.
all the way up through that show.
She
But yeah,
did.
I
Have you ever seen that
I'm
meme?
done with that.
Have you ever seen that meme of it has
I may go back
Blanche
to
on
lying
one
now.
side
I
and
should lie
J-Lo
again.
on the other, and it says
Yes.
50 now.
50
Yes.
in the 80s
That's what
and
I'm
50
saying, but
now.
I think that's good because like I feel like I see people all the time at work that they're like, I'm this old, and I'm like, how? You look
Yeah.
10, 15
Where our
years
moms
younger
were
than
30,
that.
they,
So
like,
that's
gave it
really
up. They
good,
were
and
like,
nobody
mom
believes I'm
haircut.
45.
So don't
sure.
get me
At
wrong.
all.
Like when I say like
That's like a young
turning
energy.
40,
It's
it's
Right, that's
hitting.
it's energy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
yes,
not-
for sure.
Like he seems so
It's
young
more
to
about
me.
pinnacle
Like,
stuff.
Yeah, like I'm
young
happy
energy,
with
yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my life professionally, financially, health. Like I'm
Relationship.
I'm happy.
Relationship.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we're
I
like-
should have said that.
Well, personal.
Yeah, we're helping you. We're helping you.
Personally, I'm very happy with where I am. And I've never, like, I don't ever feel like I look 40. Like, the
No,
kids
no,
at
no,
work
no,
are
yeah.
like, you look like you're 30. And I'm like, I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
But for like just mentally, for some reason, that number, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, because you don't
It's
connect
just
to
a
it. It
number.
seems, and like I feel so young. I'm like, how can I be that age? Because when I was young and I heard that age, I thought you were like 1 foot in the grave.
Well, they used to do like
and
over the
now I'm
hill.
like,
They
yeah.
don't really do
oh, we
that
did that for my
anymore.
dad. The whole thing, black balloons. And
Yeah.
Thank God they don't do that now. But it is. It's just I think
It's called Peter
hard
Pan
to
syndrome.
relate to. Yeah.
It's called Peter Pan syndrome. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. We're a good looking panel of old ass people. Up
There you go. There you go.
I am getting some white in my beard.
Yeah, just like
You
Olivia.
can see it actually on camera.
Was that Brooke?
Right there.
What's that? Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Brooke.
Hey, Brookie. Very excited. Very excited. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all I got today.
All right.
Anything you want to throw in there?
Who's next week?
Perfect. Next week, actually, we have Dr. Lauren Adkins from Gainesville Wellness and Performance. So we're going to be talking all things. Speaking, we never talked about. Kelly joined the Innovative Back Solutions team about a month and a half ago. Really, it's been a while.
October 1st, yes.
And she is conducting. We had she's doing the spinal decompression therapy at the office, and we just got a new table. So we're going to talk about that. Actually, we'll be talking about that next week. I'll probably come up with, like I said, Dr. Adkins from Gainesville Wellness and Performance, talking all things chiropractic and physical therapy and
How they go
rehab.
hand in hand.
They do, yeah. I think a lot of people think that it's like a turf war or something. I don't know, but not at all. Both go very well together.
I think
So
I'm gonna have to come see you soon. I
For
think
sure.
It's about time.
Yeah,
I
man.
got some
Yeah, for
things
sure.
that are like in here.
Yep,
It's getting really
starting to
beat
build.
up lately.
Okay.
My hips are getting worse.
All right, we can talk about that,
It's all
George.
downhill.
You know what? Maybe we could document, your experience at the office. That might be fun.
The improvement you see, really, he'll fix you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I need it.
Kelly and I'll work on you. All right. Well, hey,
got
that's
you,
all we
George.
have for you. Thanks for joining us this week. And this is. Don't think of it as a tough time. If you miss a workout or two or 2 weeks, it's okay. Life goes on.
yeah.
Just pick it up because just that space of time that you cropped out will get gobbled up by the metaverse. So don't allow it to happen. All right. All right. Be well. See you next week.